Bet you guys didn't realize that all 3 deer that we harvested this year were shot out of a ground blind sitting on a trailer. Bet you guys didn't realize that all 3 deer that we harvested this year were shot out of a ground blind sitting on a trailer. Well, what's up guys? This is Daniel from Arms Family Homestead, and I'm just out trying to get caught up on a few things today. Got a few free hours to kill with no big projects going on. As you can see, one thing, I've got my limb loppers cutting cedar trees. Eastern red cedar tree is Oklahoma's largest nemesis. It will literally take over an entire property and crowd out all the foliage, all the forage, all the grass. Trust me, I know this because, well, I can show you on my neighbor's place what it looks like when it's left on its own. But I've got the razor out today because my Kubota Sidekick's actually in the shop getting some regular maintenance and a new starter. The other day, I didn't share this with you guys, but we almost lost the Kubota Sidekick. When we were building the fence, the guys that were here working with me were using it to pull the welder around and stuff, and got on it to start it, turned the key on, and the starter got stuck in the on position. Took the key out, the starter was still spinning and started to smoke and almost caught the complete side-by-side on fire. So luckily it's a minor issue, getting a new starter, and then we'll be good to go. So as you can see, I came out, took down one ground blind. I think I'm going to leave this one up a little while longer. We do have a holiday doe season still to come, and I may let a friend of mine come out and harvest a doe, and just depends. He hasn't killed a deer yet this year, I don't think, so we may do that. But yeah, isn't that fancy? I mean, that doesn't get much more redneck than that. I love hunting out of pop-up ground blinds because they're so customizable. You can change the window look and whatever you want to open up and move. You can pop them up. You saw I tore the other one down. I tore this one down in like, I don't know, 3 minutes. So I do move them around quite a bit. I don't really worry too much about brushing them in because they stay there for several days. The deer gets used to it. We literally shot 3 deer out of this exact setup this year, all within less than, well, mine was 24 yards, shot it with a bow. Emily's was right out here, actually about 30 yards from the blind, shot it with a rifle. Houston's was, 75 yards. So don't have to worry about it being too fancy. Hey, this is a prime example of what a controlled burn will do for you. This little block of timber here has been burned 2 or 3 different times. Look at this side. Can you see a difference? Look at all the brush and the briars and everything. Makes a huge difference. Fire tremendously can help a property, but as you see, I leave some unburned, untouched. All the animals can get in there, hide, you know, rabbits and squirrels and deer and skunks and possums and raccoons. Have plenty of cover, plenty of bedding, plenty of places to get into. But then you got areas like this where there's a lot more food that grows up through, a lot less saplings, bigger trees can mature. You get food for the, you know, mass crop acorns and ponds and things for the animals to eat. Look at this view right on the curve of this creek. I'm probably 50 feet above the water right now. A big cliff right here overlooking a big bottom on the other side, and almost like a S curve through here. It's one of the prettiest views on our property. I think if you came in here and cleaned this up, cut down a bunch of this scrub brush along the creek, could you imagine what it would be like to have a little small 1-room cabin right here? Just no running water, no electricity, just a little off-grid campsite, basically, a little cabin, or like Wrangler Star's doing, a big wall tent on a platform. I don't know. I just think it'd be really awesome. I mean, come out here in the mornings, have a cup of coffee, sit on the porch. It'd be neat. So, anyways, back to cutting cedar trees so we can keep the view. And check this out. This is something I've never really used on my property. So this is a gravity fed Boss Buck feeder. And the reason I have a ratchet strap on there is because we have wild pigs, and the wild pigs will 100% absolutely tear something up to get to the feed. So this is for the deer, and I'm feeding a 20%, it's a deer feed, protein, 20% protein deer feed. This is something I've never done on my property. I've never fed year round other than food plots and such. Feed corn during the fall, just during hunting season, a little after the hunting season. But I'm gonna try to feed this 20% protein feed through the winter just to see how much it helps my deer herd, see if we can hold more numbers in on our property. I don't know, it may work, it may help out. I think it definitely isn't gonna hurt. I don't necessarily think that it's necessary to feed the deer throughout the year, but I know I have at least one neighbor that has a protein feeder like this, and he feeds year round. So I figure if there's at least a few of us feeding the deer year round, it's going to help their nutrition, help their body condition, and ultimately put more meat on the table for our families. Obviously, it's probably not going to justify it in the cost. Buying the feed's going to be expensive, but I don't know, just something I wanted to try this year. While I do like to hunt out of pop-up ground blinds, I think one of my goals for the next year or two is to build a few more of these permanent type. I don't shooting house, ground blind. Everybody calls them something different in different parts of the world, different parts of the country, but basically a place that will last a lot longer than a little fabric pop-up blind that I can bring like this, because I can bring 2 or 3 people, kids typically, and hunt comfortably. I love this. Very cheap, used out of all basically just materials I had laying around on the property. Spray painted it black on the inside. It's not insulated or anything, but Emily harvested her first deer out of here. Houston has never harvested a deer here. Weston has, I have. Lots of deer been shot right there in this little field right here. The power line right away. We didn't hunt in this little spot at all this year, basically because a neighbor that direction came in with a bulldozer and cleared just about every tree off that property and really changed up the deer patterns and deer movement. But growing up, my dad hunted this little field when I was a kid a lot and harvested a ton of deer coming out of the timber. They'd go from one block of timber across into another block of timber, and that timber pretty much is non-existent anymore, other than just what's left on my property right there. But it's a good little spot. Isn't it crazy to think it's like mid-December? It's almost Christmas. 2021 is almost over, and days like this time of year, it just really, I do a lot of reflecting and thinking back over the year. What did we accomplish in 2021? What happened in 2021 for me personally, for my family, for my friends, for our community, our country? And it's just kind of a time of reflection for me. You know, I get out here days like this with a pair of limb loppers and cut those cedar trees that are so awfully invasive on our property. But it gives me time to think and reflect and think about so many things, whether it's, you know, what's going on. It's just a stress reliever for me. Like I used to say about gardening, gardening's always been a stress reliever for me. And I get out in the woods. This is a piece of property that I grew up on. My dad bought this land before I was born, the year before I was born, and then built the house. So I've grown up here, and I lost my dad to cancer in 2005. My wife and I got married in 2006. I know some of you have heard this story, but 2005, 2 days, well, no, 1 day after Christmas in 2005, my dad lost his battle with cancer. Then 6 months later, I graduated college, got married, and started patrol school for the Oklahoma Highway Patrol Academy, and was gone for 16 weeks. All of that occurred within about a 2-week time frame. Crazy. But anyways, this piece of property, this land, is something I take a lot of pride in, and managing it and taking care of it. And whether it's big equipment and cutting down trees and clearing trails, or working on the pond or driveway, all the way down to a pair of limb loppers cutting cedar trees, it's just, I take a lot of pride in taking care of it and managing it. And it gives me that time to reflect. Get down here with a pair of limb loppers and walking around cutting cedar trees, I think about so many things, and I feel this connection with this piece of property to my dad and the older generation, my old family members that have all gone on now. And I don't know, it's almost an emotional thing for me, literally getting out here and walking around. And that's just something about owning a piece of property. And it doesn't have to be a piece of land that has come down through the generations. My dad bought this place, then I took it over. Now my kids will be the third, or they are the third generation on this little farm. And it may be called Arms Family Homestead, but it's really, my passion is in the entire property, not just the little couple acres around the house where we have animals and gardens and all that stuff. I love getting out here and just taking care of God's creation. You know, it used to, when I was a kid, it seemed like everybody had this little sign in their bathroom. And it was like a beach, you know, and footprints in the sand. And then everywhere you go, you know, when you go to a national park or a beach or something, it says take nothing but pictures and leave nothing but footprints. I feel obligated to leave this piece of property better than what I found it. And I want to instill that in my children. I want to instill that in my kids. And in you guys, so many of you guys aspire to leave the city or leave your current lifestyle and get a piece of property in the country and do exactly this. It doesn't have to be 100 acres. It doesn't have to be 50 acres. It doesn't have to be 10 acres. There's just something special about owning a piece of ground, managing it, taking care of it, and leaving it better than what it was when you got it. And I think that, I don't know, it's just a passion of my life. And getting out here in the woods gives me a chance to reflect back and think about all the memories growing up and all the memories of my kids out here on this property. We love to hunt. Don't get me wrong. We love to harvest deer to put in the freezer. But the memories that we make sitting out here in a little bitty tin shack or a little bitty pop-up ground blind are what I cherish so much. I love to hunt. I love to kill a big deer, and I did this year. I killed a really nice deer with my bow. This is the first time in 7 years that I'd personally harvested a deer, because I take so much pride and I get so much enjoyment out of watching a kid and watching my kids have that chance to harvest an animal. And I know so many people don't understand hunting. They don't understand fishing. They don't understand our lifestyle. But I'm telling you what, it's a passion, and it gets in your blood. It gets in your soul. It becomes who you are. And I don't know. 2021 was a great year for my family. And reflecting back, I don't journal. I guess my journal is this vlog, and I can go back and watch it all. One of the channels I used to watch a lot was Boss of the Swamp, and he always had a journal. He's journaled for like 30 years, so he goes back and reads those old journals from decades ago, and it would be really cool to be able to have those, but I'm not a writer necessarily. But just reflecting back over the year, man, we've had some amazing accomplishments in our family, and in my life, my family's life, our community, and I'm looking forward to 2022. It's going to bring so many great things. I know for us personally, I hope it brings great things for you. I just encourage you to sit down and think about that. Find something that's peaceful that you like to do, and reflect on 2021 and where you've came, how far you've came in the last year. What was it like 1 year ago versus now? And it's not going to be great for everyone. I know everyone's going through struggles, and everyone has different low points in their life, but look forward to the future. Look forward to the future in a positive way. I feel like that's what mass media misses out on. And when we turn on the TV, it's all negative, it's all bad. And that's why I watch YouTube. That's why I watch my friends creating memories for their life and memories for their family. And I don't know, I have so much happiness watching other people do what they do on YouTube. And I know so many of you enjoy our content and our videos, and I really appreciate that so much. But anyways, I'm gonna quit rambling. I got a cool story though. Yesterday was Sunday. I'm filming this on Monday. I was laying around the house not wanting to do a whole lot. DJ and Emily had gone Christmas shopping. I didn't want to do much. Houston, on the other hand, was like, Dad, we need to do some work. We need to do something. He said, let's go cut some firewood. And I guess that's kind of what got me thinking about this. You know, it's at 9 years old. Maybe it's because he wanted to run that awesome Easton-made Axis wood splitter and enjoyed it, but he wanted to get out here and do some work. He wanted to work on our property. He was looking for a project. He said, let's go cut firewood. And him and I came out, cut a whole pickup truckload of firewood, brought it up to the house and stacked it, and he was just as happy as he could be. So that makes me happy, and to see that at least one of my kids enjoys working on the farm and doing things. I know Emily loves to hunt. Weston's off at college doing his thing, but they all go through different phases, and they all go through different times in their life. But Houston, I can see that little twinkle in his eye when we talk about this property. He's already got all kinds of plans for where he said one of these days he's going to have a tortoise enclosure over here, and these kind of turtles over here, and these kind of animals over here. He's got all these plans. So I just want to instill that hardworking work ethic and managing our property as best we can into my kids. So anyways, I'm gonna end this video, wrap it up with Houston and I cutting a little bit of firewood, and I don't know, spending time out here in the woods taking care of my property with one of my kids. Just kind of made my day. It got me off the couch, turned off the TV outside and did a little work, and it was great. I enjoyed it. So enjoy the rest of the video, and we'll see you on the next one.
are home today. See, Weston's back from college for about a month. Yep. Or is it next week he gets off for a month?
Oh, he's done with school for now.
Oh, he is? So now it's the 3 boys home for right now. The girls will be back later.
They're off buying you Christmas presents, huh?
Yeah, we're buying Christmas presents right now.